welcome to the Artist Behind the Music UK series. Today we have Eleri Angharad with us all the way from the UK. Welcome to the show, girl.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here. I'm excited to chat with you. Let's dive back to the beginning of your musical endeavors and chat a little bit about what inspired you and what kind of set you on the path to becoming a musician and pursuing it as a full-time part of your life.
So I've always lived in quite a musical household. My mum plays piano and my dad always played the trumpet at horrible times in the morning when you were trying to sleep. But yeah, there's just been a lot of music around, and I was always in school choirs and plays and musicals and things. So I think it's just sort of always something I enjoyed doing. It wasn't until I left college, university, that I really decided to go for it. I'd been doing drama and theatre, and then I sort of started writing my own stuff as well. So I kind of went full throttle for that then when I finished.
Oh, nice. So what was the inspiration behind writing your own material? I always like to hear these stories on how people get started in writing music.
It's a lot of different things really. There was a couple of TV shows, I don't know if you remember, Unfabulous and things like that, where there was characters that wrote songs, and I was like, they're really cool, I want to be writing my stuff like that. And just other musicians, I listened to a lot of Avril Lavigne and sort of other women in music, and I just sort of thought they were really cool, so kind of wanted to do it for that reason. But it was also writing my own stuff helped me work out how I was feeling about things, and sort of if I was confused about a situation, I could try and work it out through a song, and then express myself without having to exactly explain what was going on.
Yeah, that's the beautiful thing about music, right? It's just this universal language that allows us to take an emotion and put it into a sound and a feeling that people can connect with from all walks of life, right?
Definitely.
So Avril Lavigne was one of your faves. Which song of hers was one of your favorite?
Skater Boy, I think, was the first one I was I'm gonna be like rock. I didn't. It definitely inspired me in some way.
Yeah, no, I loved her. I still do. But that album, her first album, was so good.
Oh, good.
So good. I think I might have to listen to it later today. Pull it out of the archives. Actually, I don't even think I have a CD player. Do you have a CD player still?
My car. I don't have one in my CDs now.
How times have changed. That's awesome. And what was 2020 like for you with music and putting new things out? How was that experience for you, and how did you kind of navigate the shifts and the changes through the craziness?
It was definitely different. I think in a way I had more time to focus on it, which was really nice, because I wasn't as much as gigs were part of it, I could kind of focus more on writing because I wasn't gigging and I wasn't doing other things, and just sort of the traveling between places I feel takes up so much time. So I was sort of left with quite a lot of time. So I did a lot of writing at the beginning, and then I got a chance to really work out how to put my fan base online, and kind of more obviously I feel everything was moving online anyway, and I felt that with more time to kind of focus on it and work out how it works, and how Instagram works and how Spotify kind of works, and I just felt I had a lot more time to really plan everything and sort of do PR and work out the sort of stepping stones of each release without kind of chaotically trying to pull it together.
Yeah, for sure. I think that was a big part of last year, was just that retreating. Oh, I think we froze. We have a technical glitch. Are you there?
Oh, I think you've frozen a second.
I can hear you now.
There you go. So I'm not sure what happened there.
You're back. No, that's okay. It's the joys of technology. And I mean, first of all, how cool is it that we're on different continents and still able to chat like we're in the same room together? So technology glitches are bound to happen, and that's okay. That's okay. Yeah,
it's funny about being online, is it cut out?
Yes, it's to be expected. It happens even on national television shows. So we're good. Yeah, I was saying though, in 2020 it was all about kind of slowing down and kind of tuning out the chaos and kind of tuning more inwards on personal development and growth, and even just with the music industry, just tuning into different aspects of the career that maybe, you don't get to focus on so much because you're busy performing or, traveling and doing all these external things. That it was a beautiful space amidst the chaos that was happening, or that
Yeah,
still happening, to tune into things maybe you wouldn't typically see.
yeah.
What would you say the biggest aspect of personal development you had last year would be?
Um, I partly like a lot of time. I had a lot of time to collaborate with people, so I think I've improved like the writing side of it. And I think then it's really cool that you got to connect with artists from all over the world. So I've been doing writing sessions with people from like Nashville and London that I'm not as close to, that I probably wouldn't have traveled to and written with otherwise. And because I feel like everyone was writing on Zoom, so it didn't really matter where you were in the world, because you'd have to do it on Zoom anyway, even if they were sort of next door to you. So that was really cool. And I think that's definitely improved my writing and my sort of exposure to different types of music and different styles of writing. I'd also say just kind of knowing your own strengths and working out like the things that I'm really good at, and then kind of owning it and not being afraid to be like, actually, I can do this really well. And I'm going to just embrace that and go with it.
I love that you just said that. I think it's not believing in ourselves is a very common trait that we all have, and it's really easy to think like, oh, I'm not very good at that, or someone else can do it better than me, so I just
Yeah.
won't even try. But when you really tap into, I'm really good at this, so I'm going to
Yeah.
go out there and I'm going to shine and share what I'm really good at with people, so that they can be inspired to do what they're
Yeah,
good
exactly.
at.
I feel like it had such more of a positive impact as well, because I sort of started feeling like that, and the posts I was making were more sort of like, look what I'm doing, like this is really cool, I'm good at this. And then I had people coming saying like, that was really inspiring and I really liked your post on that. So it kind of, the energy you put out like does reflect back, and I think it helps other people.
Absolutely. I just love this topic, because I think a lot of us are afraid, just as humans in general, afraid to put ourselves out there and allow ourselves to shine in our strengths and share what we do with people, because we're kind of taught sometimes like, don't brag, don't be competitive, don't all these things. But when you're just being authentic and sharing who you are, I think, and sharing your strengths, it is inspiring for other people to do the same. So that's awesome. Let's talk about your latest song that you've released. Why don't you tell us a little bit about kind of what was the inspiration, the writing process, the promotion process, the whole shebang?
So the last song I released was called New Sin, and it was out in November. I wrote it back in the first sort of lockdown period we had here, which was back in April or March, April. And I think I've sort of, I don't know, like I woke up and the sort of melody and lyrics just started coming to me. It was like one of those amazing ones where you kind of go like, I've got a song in my head and it just needs to come out somehow. So it was one of those sort of magical songwriting moments. But I think it was inspired by one of the last sort of nights out I had before everything shut down. I do a lot, I probably like really weird, but I do a lot of like people watching, and I'll get lost in a club and like start chatting to some random girl in like the toilet queue, and I'm like that girl who's like really nosy and kind of like annoying, and I sort of like imagine then like what people are going through. So it was about well, it's sort of imaginary people, but it was about these two people that sort of meet in this club, and they kind of hit it off in the sort of tension of that and the sort of seduction of it. So it was quite fun to write, and it was kind of fun to write from like a different perspective than I normally would. So yeah, I kind of wrote it about that. And in terms of promotion, we did a lot more PR for this. Like I did a lot of my own PR, which was obviously I had a lot more time to do that. So it was really nice to sort of focus on building connections with blogs, and obviously people like yourself that have like come to contact me. I thought it was really cool that I just got to sort of put more of it out into the world and make more connections.
Yeah, I love that. And I think PR doesn't need to be something that you have to hire a specific publicist for. I think
No.
as artists, we need to continuously be doing PR, and
Yeah, yeah.
really, it's public relations, and that's just being relatable with the with people, right, and having conversations. And I think as an artist, it's just a very important skill set and tool to be reminded of. in your day to day.
Yeah.
Always network and connect with new people, and it's inspiring too when you have new conversations with people um,
Yeah.
and are letting your music and your words kind of shine in whatever life that looks like.
Yeah, I did. So similar to this one, I did like a series of live sessions with artists where I do like a writers round, kind of back and forth, just like 3 or 4 songs. And then people were sort of coming to me like, "Can I do a live with you?" And I was like, "Oh, okay." It's just a little thing on Instagram that kind of started, and it's just to grow and make connections with artists and bloggers and radio people as well. So
Exactly.
definitely online community there.
Yeah, and it's great. It's so cool that, as we kind of mentioned before, but everything's online now. So it's so easy to connect with people all over the world. And it's not like it wasn't there before, but I think we were just all very busy with the space around us that we forgot that there's this whole massive world out there that we get to connect with and make new friends. And it's really cool. What would you say one of the hardest things about being in the music industry is for you?
Um, I think it's probably like the constant rejection, and I don't mean that in a really negative way, but obviously, you put music out there that you love and that other people will love, but there's going to be people who just don't connect with it and don't love it. And, there's going to, big labels are obviously going to look for any reason to not sign you, or people are going to sort of look for any reason why a song isn't quite good enough. So I think it's obviously it challenges you and your own songwriting, but I think sometimes you could write the best song that you're ever going to write and someone's still going to be like, "No, I don't like it." So it's just sort of styles and pitching it to different people and kind of being okay with people going, "No, it's not for me, sorry, next," and then being like, "Okay, cool, yeah, I'm like not on my PR database anymore, like I won't bother you." And
Yeah,
just think,
absolutely. It is a challenging part. And I talk to a lot of artists that kind of say this very similar thing. And just remembering that every single no you hear is just it's my favorite thing to say is every no is one no closer to a yes. And
I love that.
yeah, it's just I like to say that because we're gonna hear whatever industry you're in, you're gonna hear no. Or if you're a creative, you have to know that not everybody's gonna love your stuff because that's why there's so many creative people out there because there's so many
Yeah.
people out in the world that have different tastes and are looking for something different. I think just really remembering, you know, I'm an original. I love what I do. It's not for everyone, and that's okay.
Yeah, definitely. Like focusing on the people that do love what you do and just making it for them and making it for you.
Yeah. What kind of tools do you use when maybe you kind of go down that road of, oh man, like I'm just hearing no, or, just not feeling like you're excelling, you're not having a day of being on top of the mountain. What kind of tools do you use to kind of climb your way back up that mountain?
I think it's like reconnecting with the love of the music and like maybe playing for fun, or just playing like a cover of a song you love, or just writing a song that you're never going to release but like you just want to write for fun, and just kind of like exploring different things. Obviously I do take on board, especially like constructive feedback. I find it useful sometimes to be like, okay, let's clear my head, and then we'll go back to it and look at it when you're sort of in a positive mind. So yeah, I think it's important to get out of the negative like mindset by doing something you love, or by like finding music you love and concentrating on that, and then you can like go back to the criticism if you want when you're in like a better space, and then you can look at it more objectively and say, maybe okay, maybe I do need to work on that area, or and you're sort of in a better space to take it, I think.
I love that. It's just the idea of resetting, right?
Yeah, resetting, that's perfect.
Yeah. And I love also what you said about coming back to the music for fun, because that's why, musicians are in this industry because they love to do music. And I think a lot of times people get caught up in the business side or the hustle and all that kind of stuff that it's easy to forget, oh, I just really love playing. And I know
Yeah.
for me, even I'll have moments where I just sit at the piano or pick up the guitar and just start playing something random and just get lost in the music. And I'm like, oh, forgot how fun it is.
Yeah.
And it's crazy how we can forget the joy that is lying underneath all the crazy that's lingering on top. That's lingering on top. Do you have any pre-show rituals or mindset tools that you like to use before you hop on stage? or on a live stream?
I think I tend to over prepare, so I like to just like, you know, check all the instruments are in tune, like make sure that's sort of set, and that's really helps me just like know everything's been double checked. I don't know really. I think someone gave me advice once that if you're feeling nervous, like change it to feeling excited instead, because it's kind of the same feeling in your body, and your body doesn't really know the difference. So it just like that flipping in your head is turning it into excited. Just brings like a more positive feeling, and then you can use the nerves to sort of propel you into like doing a better performance.
You're speaking my language, girl. I love that. I love that. It is like a switch. I mean, when you're nervous or excited, your body starts shaking, your skin goes red,
Yeah,
you get hot, you get anxious, all these just emotions. And you exactly how you said it, just flip the switch and turn those nerves into the reason why you love doing what you're doing.
yeah,
Yes, good advice. Everybody take that. Take that and run. Well, that's awesome. Well, I'd love to hear you play a song if you're ready.
yeah, definitely.
Walk out and
So I'm gonna play my latest single. This is called New Sin, and yeah, it's the seductive one I was saying about the two people who meet in a nightclub. I hope you enjoy this one. We're counting red lights down in the city on the east side. Not the kind of girl who likes a tough guy. You'll be speaking softly, would you be mine? Would you be mine? I'm diving straight in. The blood is getting restless under your skin. Can feel it in my kiss that I'm addicted. No, this isn't right, but you're my new sin, new sin. You're my new sin, new sin. I'm the greed, the things you said to me. You're my new sin, new sin. The lust is in the touch, the devil's in the games we play around. You're sipping whiskey, looking at my body, gonna risk it. Back against the wall, you got me good, kid. Fever in my veins, you're such a quick hit, such a quick hit. I gotta whisper, I never said I was a good girl. You're the kind of guy that likes some trouble. And now I got you under my spell, my spell. You're my new sin, new sin. The envy and the greed, the things you said to me. You're my new sin, new sin. The lust is in the touch, the devil's in the games we play around. New sin, new sin. Ooh. New sin, new sin. Ooh. This ain't the last time we ever meet under the white light. Bending over backwards, baby, hold tight. Call it what you want, but it's a sick high, sick high. You're my new sin, new sin. The envy and the pride, the things I feel inside. New sin, new sin. The envy and the greed, the things you said to me. Oh my, new sin, new sin. The lust is in the touch, the devil's in the games we play around. The lust is in the touch, the devil's in the games we play around. Thank you.
Oh, that's awesome. I can imagine like a tango dancer dancing to that song.
Yeah, it's funny. I did for the video. I did a bit of dancing in it, so that's really cool that you said that.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly what I envisioned. Like just someone tango dancing. Oh, I love it. It's so good, and it really sets a tone. Like that song, it sets a mood. Like I can just see dark room, like with a couple of white lights and red
Mm,
everywhere. It's great. I'm very visual. I like to
yeah,
envision music videos and stories when I'm listening to people perform.
so funny. Like it's literally the same as like the music video I have. So I'll send you a link and
Oh,
you can see.
amazing. I listened to the song. I didn't check the video. So that's the first thing I'm doing after we are done. I'm watching the video. That's amazing. And everybody else, check out the video too, so you can see my vision. So you can see my vision. Oh, that's excellent. Excellent. When you're songwriting, do you have a typical process that you go through, or does it change every time? Do you prefer co-writing, writing on your own? What's your process look like?
Um, I definitely really enjoy co-writing now. I think I was quite scared to do it at first and like scared to throw ideas out in front of another person because it's quite personal, especially when you're just sort of at the early stages of writing a song. But I've come to really enjoy like kicking ideas around and being more open with that. So I think I probably prefer co-writing, but I love writing on your own when you just have an idea and you like can't stop it coming out. So like that's my favorite type of writing. But obviously that's kind of as and when that kind of appears in your mind. So yeah, I definitely love co-writing for like the fresh ideas, and I feel like you can get things done more quickly because you're like bouncing ideas around and they just kind of come together more quickly, which is really exciting. And it's nice to have someone to share the song with as well.
For sure. For sure. I love that about co-writing too. It's like, you can have a real good strength in one area and somebody else can have a really good
Yeah.
strength in the other, and you come together and then it's just this explosion of strong energy, which is awesome. Would you say you're more of a lyricist or a music, like the music part?
That's a hard one. Like I've like done I've always done both, so it's hard to sort of decide which one I prefer or which one I'm better at. But I think I'd edge towards being more of a lyricist because I find lyrics like so important to me in writing.
Mm.
Uh, But then I also love writing melodies, so I'm trying to get better at writing melodies. So I'd say maybe lyrics is my strength.
Yes, that's awesome. Yeah, it's funny with that question, Hank, because you're like, well, I do them both and I
Yeah,
enjoy them both. But it's always interesting kind of to break things down of the things that you do on a day to day and be like, oh, well, what am I really good at? And
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I need to put more energy into, which is always a cool thing. Cool. What other song do you have for us today?
I have a song called Blank Walls, which I released also this year. Oh, not this year, last year. We're in 2021. So I released this at the start of lockdown. A bold choice, but it went quite well. So this is kind of so the last song and this one kind of come together with a project I'm working on. So they're kind of set on the same night, but like maybe from different people, or maybe the same people like further down the line. So it's kind of like a side B side thing at the moment that will kind of flesh out into something else. But it's kind of the two people in the sort of relationship that's like not quite working, and they're both trying to say like, oh well, they said this to me, so they must like me, but then they also said that, so I'm like a bit confused now. And then we went out and did this, but also then that, and it's kind of the sort of headspace you get into when you're like not quite sure if you're in a relationship with someone, and you just sort of pull these little details and try and make sense of them, and it's sort of the fragments of that. So hopefully people can relate. Not hopefully, but I'm sure people can relate.
I'm sure people can as well.
A sort of insecurity of that. So find my piano pedal. Yeah, cool. Yeah, this is Blank Walls, and you enjoy. Blank walls and cigarettes, mistakes and no regrets, no candles for second best, just back to another bed. White wine in a dive, bus standing by your side, pour me a glass and I won't drive, just follow me out in 5, and you think I'm somebody, so I give you my body and my flaws. Take me to heaven around 11:30 and we fall, but we don't fall hard enough to make this work. No, we don't fall far enough to shatter the just crumpled t-shirts on the bedroom floor and empty bottles, empty promise from the night before. And it's a cool. Blood photos on my phone, table games and inside jokes. The best of friends they'd never know. Pretend I'm walking home alone. Become somebody, so I give you my body and my cries. Took me to heaven, I count to 7 and we fly. But we don't fall hard enough to shatter the earth. No, we don't fall far enough to make this work. We're just crumpled t-shirts on the bedroom floor and empty bottles, empty promise from the night before. And let's call. Empty bottles of wine and you promise you're mine, but you never were. No, you never were. Empty bodies this time, gonna pretend that you're mine, but you never were. No, you never were. 'Cause we don't fall hard enough to shatter the earth. No, we don't fall far enough to make this work. We're just crumpled t-shirts on the bedroom floor and empty bottles, empty promise from the night before. And let's call. Oh, let's call. You're just a crumpled t-shirt on my bedroom floor, an empty promise from the night before.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
You were quite a storyteller.
Oh, thank you.
Songs really just paint a picture and take you on a journey of an experience or a moment, and that's very beautiful. I was painting another video in that picture too.
Music video, so like maybe you can like direct this one.
I'm all for it. Put me on Zoom and let's go. That's amazing. So what do you have in store for the rest of this year? Do you know, or are you kind of playing it day by day, depending on how the week works?
Got a plan for like the first time starting a year. Like I did an album a couple of years ago, and then since then I've been like just trying things, but I've kind of got a plan for 2021. I've got a couple more songs in this kind of concept, like I think it's going to be an EP of like this nightclub kind of night and like different people's perspectives of this night. So it kind of came together quite organically. I was just kind of writing songs. I think I just missed going out, to be honest, in lockdown. It must have been that, because I kept writing songs about these sort of people on this night out. And so I've got that, and then I also wrote my first Christmas song this last year, so I might look at doing something with that as well later on in the year.
Excellent. And that's the thing with Christmas songs. Hey, you have to write them way in advance of the Christmas season so that they come out on time.
Yeah, I tried to write one, but I always remember in like August, and then I'm like, well, I have to write it now. And like, I can't write it now because it's August and it's like weird.
Totally. No, I hear you loud and clear. Oh, that's awesome. Well, it's been so nice having you on the show and hearing your beautiful voice. You've got such a beautiful range too. I want to say, like, you're way up there like an angel, and then you've got this great lower tone. It's very enjoyable to listen to. So thanks for sharing your music and your strengths and your stories. It was great chatting with you. I always like to wrap these up with the question, if you had one message to share with the world, what would it be?
I'd say do what makes you happy, because it doesn't matter like what anyone else thinks about what you do, as long as you enjoy it.
Yes, absolutely. Do what makes you happy. We'll leave it on that note. Thank you again so much for showing up and joining me here on The Artist Behind the Music. And I can't wait to see what you have in store. And I really am so excited to go check out your music video.